Hey, hello everyone, here we are for the episode number 131 of Honkai Star Rail. We're finally gonna keep going with the main story. So let's begin. It's fucking hot.
I am glad to finally meet you in person, guests from the Astral Express. I'm Fei Xiao, the general of the Xianzhou Yao Cheng.
Let me introduce our guest to you. The one dressed in green.
He's the reincarnation of Imbibitor Lune, and the person behind him is the newest member of the crew. I've heard a lot about you. Outside the reports,
Is it good or?
the Skyfaring Commission of the Yao Qing has also gathered plenty of information about both of you. I've been eager to meet you face to face for reasons that I'm sure General Jing Yuan has explained, right? Straight to the point. I like it. According to General Jing Yuan's report, the Ruin Legion is to blame for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, and all Arbiter Generals should pay attention to the Ruin Author's movements. Over the years, the Destruction's minions have wreaked havoc on countless worlds, and the Alliance has been keeping an eye on them, but no one expected them to join hands with the remnants of the Abundance. The damage caused by the Ambrosial Arbor crisis was far less severe than expected, which is good news for us. However, it was quite different from the Ruin Legion's usual style of destroying life wherever they go.
I think she's confusing two
While I
things.
trust the bravery of the Divine Foresight and the Nameless, I'm curious about some details missing from the report. I'd like to take this chance to have an exchange with both of you. Let me be clear. The questions I'll ask might not reflect my actual thoughts, so please don't take offense if any of my questions seem a bit harsh.
I'm like that actually.
Please
Sometimes
go
I can
ahead, General.
find the right words, I'm
But
like,
keep
I'm
in
gonna go
mind
straight to
we
the
can
point,
only
but it's not
answer
really
based
what I
on
mean.
we know. And perhaps you already have the answers to your questions in your heart.
You have a clever tongue. I like it.
Oh,
The Merlin's claw is quite articulate. Right now, her intentions are unknown, and Jin Yuan wants us to be honest. Maybe I'll just stick to the facts we know.
uh-huh.
Let's cut to the chase. Before the crisis struck, the Astral Express was guided here by a Stellaron hunter, a
Kafka.
wanted felon, in an attempt to resolve the Stellaron crisis. However, everyone in the cosmos knows of the Stellaron hunter's reputation. So, why did you place so much trust in them? Could it be that some of you have a connection with them?
Rumor has it that Elio, the leader of the Stellaron Hunters, possesses the power to see into the future.
So, that was definitely not what I actually expected. I thought he would actually just tell her that Kafka came here because of Ilia's prophecy, she let herself got captured, and he's just saying this. That's why one of the things I hate about those kind of things and this kind of multiple choices answers, it's like most of the time you're like, I like this one, and it's a thing that's completely different. I hate this.
We foresaw that the Xianzhou and the Express would have important roles to play in the war against Nanook. That's why we were lured here to the Luofu, to deal with the Stellaron crisis and fulfill the prophecy.
She's gonna cut me.
General Jing Yuan
Of
believes
course.
in prophecy too,
Fucking
as
cancer.
mentioned in the
Really?
report.
Oh! I
I'm
hate
curious
this.
why you didn't question it at all. Could it be because one of the Stellar
Anyways.
hunters is actually an old acquaintance of General Jing Yuan.
Wouldn't call it old
Please be
acquaintance.
cautious with your words, Merlin's Claw. Let's avoid sowing doubt among our comrades. That Stellaron hunter used to be my disciple. So are you putting my loyalty in question too?
Okay.
I'm simply bringing up the doubts about General Jing Yuan that exist within the Alliance. Since I'm representing them, perhaps you can just imagine me as one of those old geezers. Let's move on to the next question. The report suggests that Don Shu, the master of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, colluded with the Lord Ravager and used the power of the Stellaron to resurrect the Ambrosial Arbor. But here's the thing. Don Shu was just a chief alchemist. Even if she colluded with our enemies and summoned the Stellaron, how did she manage to bypass
I
the
forgot
Vidyadhara
about
guard
this.
around the Ambrosial Arbor?
I kinda want to answer this, but it doesn't really answer the question, does it?
If the Luofu hadn't exiled Dan Heng, leaving the Vidyadhara with no leader, they wouldn't have fallen into chaos, and there wouldn't have been the opportunity to bring the Stellaron to the roots of the Arbor unnoticed.
Imbibitor Lune was exiled due to his own crimes. Now, Dan Heng, as his reincarnation,
I
is
just
free
hate this.
from his
I'm just gonna
sins.
answer randomly.
However, why did he risk trespassing on the Xianzhou Law?
I was concerned about the safety of my companions, so I acted brazenly.
But he returned despite everything. Now, let's consider the out. According to the report, Lord Ravager Fantilia is the mastermind behind the entire conspiracy. She disguised herself as an ambassador of the Skyfaring Commission and traveled with you, only to vanish without a trace later on.
She has just refused to answer.
I was there,
Just whatever.
fighting Fantilia alongside General Jing Yuan, but she absorbed the power of the Ambrosial Arbor and gained an almost indestructible physical form. Perhaps that was her intention all along.
Okay, keep going.
So, a pawn of the destruction wanted a flesh and blood body to live in.
I don't give a fuck, actually. Every time
Well,
this is gonna
it
show up,
appears that you are still
I don't
unable
care.
to give explanations
That's
for
just
several
fucking
details
boring.
about how the Nameless got involved in the Ambrosial Arbor
No, you're
crisis.
never gonna see me play Professor Layton.
Generals, I am finished with my questioning.
Yeah, fuck off.
So,
Break a
what
leg
do
when
you
you get
think,
angry.
General Fei Shao?
Jesus
Has the doubts
Christ.
in the report been cleared up?
Don't just tell me there is not
The two Nameless
Like-
have been honest in their answers.
no more.
Even though
Really,
there are
no
some
more.
tricky details, my intuition tells me there is nothing wrong. However, the three questions I posed earlier were not just for the Nameless.
Yeah,
The
of
disciples
course, I
of
know.
Sanctus
Yeah, who
Medicus
gives a
grew
fuck, yeah.
uninterrupted on the Law Food. Yet the six charioteers were not aware of it. That was a dereliction of duty.
Happens.
Second, you believed in the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy and entrusted outsiders to solve the crisis, even granting
Because
them
he saw
access to
potential,
the
he's our...
That
Like, he
was a
saw our
dereliction of
intentions.
responsibility. Third, you insist on holding the war dance right after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, putting the Lawfu back in the spotlight. That is a dereliction of wisdom.
No, it's just
Merlin's
getting up
Claw.
and having two people breathe
Your
down.
line of thinking? Or the tip?
From the moment I walked in, I made it clear that the questions I'd ask might not reflect my...
The disciples of Sanctus Medicus were deeply rooted and had been plotting for a long time. I admit it was my negligence for not noticing it earlier. As for the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy, I didn't believe all of it. But in the end, the Law Fu did survive the Ambrosial Arbor crisis. So, I think it's safe to say that Elio's prophecy about the future
Mm-hmm, exact.
holds some merit. And as for the war dance, do you think I'm unaware of the risks? However, risks can also be opportunities. The Law Fu has lain low for too long. I believe it's time to stir up the dregs hidden in the depths and wash them away once and for all.
Good answers.
Just as I expected from our sophisticated divine foresight. You have a way with words. I like it. But, unfortunately...
Why is she the masterpiece from this scene, by the way?
The Alliance has been filled with rumors and speculation. Even within the Law Fu, there are people accusing you of neglecting your duties, resulting in the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection.
So what are your thoughts on all of this, General Fei Shao?
As a fellow Arbiter General, I fully understand the difficulties of this position.
And yet you still attack him like he's
Personally,
nothing.
I think all these rumors are meaningless drivel. Across the sea of stars, the divine foresight knows better than anyone else what happened on the Law Fu and the meaning behind it. Just as what happened on the Xianzhou Yaoqing recently.
You mean the Xianzhou Yaoqing is also...
The scouts of the Verdant Knights have sent back reports that Borisin are making trouble again. The Borisin packs that were once divided and scattered have started swallowing each other up, forming larger and larger packs. Moreover, there's an entity named Mongus behind it all.
An entity?
According to the report, this entity isn't actually a Borisin. It's a woman claiming to be the messenger of the
Okay.
Master of Immortality. She's described as having 12 faces and 12 pairs of fangs, as cruel as poison and as elusive as quicksand. The Borisin believe she'll give them a chance to rise again.
Okay.
That's Ventilia.
That's right. You're lucky that I'm the one who came this time.
Oh,
If it were
sorry.
the Patina Justice or the Seer Strategist, this conversation might not be so friendly. I've always had faith in my instincts, so I don't doubt your good intentions. But the Alliance has its fair share of questions and doubts about the Law Fu. So, my plan is to come up with an acceptable answer to satisfy the Alliance.
Asking for help and say, okay, I'm gonna close my eyes on this one. Let me guess.
General Jing Yuan, you already know what has to be done. But since you don't want to be the bad guy, I'll take care of it for you. You need the final word from the Ten Lords Commission to quell any doubts. And for that, I'll have to ask the two Nameless to visit the Shackling prison. No, I'm not imprisoning you. While you're there, I'll ask a judge in the Ten Lords Commission's Interrogation Division to record a detailed testimony with the karmic mirror from both of you. We'll fill in the gaps that weren't covered in the report, and silence any protests within the Alliance.
Sure, we did nothing wrong
I'm okay
anyways.
with that. Your willingness to help is truly heartwarming, youngsters.
Then, as the Merlin's Claw requests,
Oh, there's one more thing. This testimony is for silencing the voices of opposition within the Alliance. But I would like to urge General Jing Yuan to listen to the pleas of the Foxians on the Xianzhou Yaoqing.
You're annoying, you know what?
you are here for Hule.
Exactly. Hule is locked up in the Law Fu's Shackling prison.
So she's
Since
coming
he
with
is
us.
the Broodlord of the Borisin, I want to transfer him onto the Xianzhou Yaoqing and imprison him there. The recent movements of the Borisin suggest they're planning something big, so we must act preemptively.
It makes sense to have the Foxians keep an eye on their arch-nemesis. Since you trust my judgment, I'll repay that trust. What do you think about all this, General Hawaiian.
I was worried this would turn into a heated argument, but it seems like both of you are on the same page, solving each other's problems. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
And as for Hule, I'll send my Lieutenant Jiao Cho and Moza to check on his condition in prison and ready him for transport. If there are no more questions, shall we get this started?
Yes, I guess. So let's just go, whatever.
I'll call for a messenger to take...
As you wish, General.
As General Jing Yuan requested, everything is prepared for your arrival, and I'm
Okay.
here to receive you. The judges at the Interrogation Division also know your purpose in coming.
To the Shackling prison, finally.
The
A new
Shackling
place.
prison. I didn't expect to be back here after all these years. Danhong, don't worry about me.
If you're ready, I'll open the gate for you. This is one of many entrances used for temporary access. Since you're not actual prisoners, it makes sense for you to use this entrance. Please come on in, dear guests.
Their shackles are now my weapons. Silas, League of Legends. Seem to be ready. What for? That looks cool.
What are you looking at?
Oh, yeah.
The Shackling prison on the Luofu is completely different from the one on the Yaoqing. It's completely underwater.
Whether it's in the clouds or underwater, breaking free would still be a piece of cake for me.
Still thinking about your old jailbreak tricks, huh? Forget it. You're free now. Just don't do anything stupid, or the judges will throw you back in there and lock you up for a few hundred years.
You'll see me again in just a few days.
Taking Hule back to the Yaoqing means a lot to the Foxians on the ship, and to the General herself. So stay alert.
Guests, my name is Shui Yi, and I'm here on orders from the Incarceration Division of the Ten Lords Commission.
We're Jiao Cho and Moza. General Fei Xiao sent us to extradite the Borisin criminal Hule to the Yaoqing. We're here to inspect the conditions
What did he
of
do
his
with his hand?
imprisonment
Like a handshake
and
or
make
what?
preparations for the
Alone?
handover and transportation. I assume you've been briefed, Your Honor.
Your visit request has been approved. I'll be your guide for this trip. Prisoner Hule, the warhead and brood lord of the Borisin abominations of abundance and the arch-nemesis of the Foxians, is responsible for 2,123 wars of aggression and countless associated crimes. Due to his heinous acts, he has been imprisoned in the depths of the Shackling prison and subjected to the punishment of the Forest of Swords until the end of time. He shall never be pardoned.
No need to repeat his crimes and sentence, Your Honor. He is the greatest enemy of us Foxians. The stories of his atrocities are used to terrify our children. I'm well aware of every crime he's committed. Let's move on to the next step.
When it comes to visiting criminals, there are rules in place to ensure your safety. I know you've heard legends about Hule since you were children, but your knowledge about him is likely very limited. Only the judges of the Ten Lords Commission truly know what kind of abomination is locked up at the bottom of the Shackling prison. It has been centuries since Jing Liu, the former sword champion of the Luofu, captured Hule.
Oh, it was
In all
her.
those years, we never provided him with any food, yet he somehow managed to stay alive. It defies all the documented physical characteristics of the Borisin. The Forest of Swords, forged by the Punishment Division, is a device of intense torment, used to execute sinful abominations. Most Borisin die within 3 days in the forest, but Hule is different. Every time the blades pierce him, his body instantly heals. Despite the brutal punishment, he somehow manages to survive. The complex rules are there because of his abnormal characteristics. Do you understand now?
He heals immediately. They didn't give him any food for years. Is he eating, like literally eating himself to stay alive? Or he maybe doesn't need to eat?
I apologize for any offense caused. Please continue, Your Honor.
I've given you the instructions regarding Hule's visitation. Please make sure you read them carefully.
Why is it in yellow? Okay. Let's quickly read this. Summary of crimes. Numerous crimes associated with long term, Foxian, blah blah blah. Okay, so he did bad stuff. Detention. This prisoner must be subjected to the punishment of the Forest of Swords, and never be pardoned. They must be transferred to different locations on a regular basis. Shackles may be checked for steadiness transfer. The hell filters in the new cell must be intact and functional. Now, the important part. Notes. 1. The confinement of this prisoner is the foundation of the alliance between the Xianzhou and the Foxians. Any individual subjecting to the sentence should be punished for so discord. Really? If you're against the fact that he's imprisoned, and the person's gonna be punished. So that's a good thing to cut Hule's potential rise from a team up or whatever. 2. Anyone who contacts or converses with this prisoner must take poison-proof pelts or wearing a breathing mask equipped with a filter. Cash counter effects of the lipotoxin. Oof. Okay. So it's poisonous. The prisoner's place of detention must be changed on a yearly basis, and the new location must remain unknown to individuals below the rank of... Okay. Not mentioned Jing Liu. That's a topic. Okay.
And please, take this pellet before proceeding.
No, I'm not taking random medicine.
Then you won't be allowed to visit Hule.
Just swallow it already. Hule is like all Borisin. He can release a pheromone called lupatoxin that induces fear. Thousands of years ago, we Foxians were enslaved by the Borisin. Not because we were naturally weaker, but because of their lupatoxin. This pill is for our own mental well-being.
I understand.
I knew you were a reasonable person. Now that we've taken the medicine, let's proceed. Your Honor.
What is it?
No. Never mind. Maybe I'm just imagining things.
Second time.
Let's keep moving.
He smells a Borisin clothes and doesn't say anything. Second time. You could have at least sworn. I don't think he knows.
Her Honor hasn't arrived yet. Please wait a moment.
I don't think the Foxian with pink hair, I forgot his name, knows that Borstein can transform. Because... who was it? It was... yeah, March, Yangqing, and... forgot her name. The girl with the big sword. They were on Navalia. He was there too. He smelled it. He didn't say anything. Just left a clue or two. But he smelled it, and he didn't specifically say that. And now it's the second time. But he left before Yangqing and the other two fight them. So he doesn't know officially about it. He has a suspicion, but not... he's not sure. Oh, it's the
Her
same
Honor
thing.
hasn't arrived yet. Please wait.
Just curious. Okay. Oof.
Welcome, dear guests from the Express. Judge Hanya of the Interrogation Division. We've met before.
We did.
You don't want to see me? Well, in that case, I can call in the judge who's an expert in acupuncture, or the one who's handy with axes and saws, or the one who knows all about whips and ropes. We've got plenty of options here, and we'll find...
That sounds something that you would listen when you enter a BDSM thing.
Just
Anyways.
kidding. We
Yeah,
judges
that's the
work in
face of
shifts,
kidding.
and it just happens to be my shift. Maybe we're destined to cross paths. Please
Cross
allow me to
paths.
express my gratitude to you again for subduing the demons in the Fixtural
Idiot.
Garden.
Looks like while March 7th and I were clueless, you already made many friends on the Shenzhou Luofu.
Kinda.
Even though you and I have met before, we can't show any favoritism under the Ten Lords. So, please do as I command as we head to Scrivener Hall and beyond.
It's normal.
Don't do anything without my permission. This is not a place for ordinary mortals. You and Mr. Danhang, please come with me.
Please lead the way, Your Honor.
Please let me activate the mechanism before we all move forward. And please, watch your steps.
Why should we be afraid of stairs? Can't I watch the last one? Oh. Traverse. Oh, go. Oh. Fuck. Oh, weapons. Okay, vandalism, step number 1. Just do as I say, she said. Many chests, by the way. Oops. Okay, one trotter. There are some puzzles in there. Oh wait.
Looks like
Just in case I walk next to a chest. Hello.
make a wish.
Oops. Need to go there, so what about this? The IPC is checking the Shackling prison. Thank you. Yay! Missed them! X and X's remake is the complete remake version of X and X. Select a device in the middle of the screen. You can stack cubes along the indicated direction every time you stack. Source cube, okay. Stack cubes to alter device's shape and the shape matches. Why does shown the person to say the puzzle is solved, okay. Stack cubes are not designated. It'll show an error hint. Cancel reset to revert, okay. Rotate, okay. Click on the cube. Ah. Okay. Ah, and I have. Okay. I got it. Okay, Nami doesn't give a fuck about those ones. It's different. Feels more simple, like less messy. I know there is a puzzle somewhere, it says in the map, but anyways. Forgot how to pull out the camera. But look here. Is this a crane? Don't see any stairs. Ah, yeah, here they are. Anyways, let's keep going. And before I take the elevator, we see each other tomorrow for the next episode. Guys, thank you one more time for being there with me for another episode of Honkai Star Rail. We see each other for the next one. Until then, consider leaving a comment, a like on the video if you like it, or a dislike it if you didn't. But never forget about it. Stay the way you are. You're amazing, and see you guys.